Nebraska's got leaks. Leaks. Now, Will Compton, proud Nebraska alum, co-host of Bussin' with the Boys, posted this leaked Matt Rhule halftime speech from the Akron game. Nebraska at this point was up 33-0 against Akron. And all the Nebraska fans saw me tweet about this last night and thought I was making fun of Nebraska. I was just making fun of bleeps and leaks. I love what Matt Rhule was saying here. I love this. This gives me even more confidence that Matt Rhule is going to have a Matt Rhule year 3 this year at Nebraska. So, producer River, play that clip.
Maybe I just have a different standard. I don't like them freaking moving the ball. They're dropping back at the end of the half. Like, we're on the sidelines. Me and John are saying they'll take a knee here. They'll run the ball. They don't fear you. They don't respect you enough yet. And if that sounds like coach speak, then you have the wrong brain. They're dropping back against our starting defense. They're cutting our own line at the end of the half. All you young guys are just go back there and chill. I want my opportunity. Some of you guys will get an opportunity right now. I told you I don't care what the score is. I told you I care what the tape looks like. Did I trip when the ball was fumbled? No, I don't care what happens in the game. I want to see what the next play is. You have one half. Defense, you have one half. If they try to drop back and throw it, and that quarterback's not on the ground, I want new guys in there rushing. I want them hit. I want them never to say our name again. Do you believe the fact with 43 seconds left, they just gave us the ball back. They went down 33 and they're still dropping back. They had the balls to cut you. Offense, you guys get the ball, you put it down and score. You made me put the freaking red and the white in. And you guys get in, you go play. I don't care what the score is. Troy told you shutouts are precious. We almost gave them a shutout. I don't want them ever to say our name again. That's the killer instinct I asked about. Not what does my hair look like, what do I look like in the freaking mirror. I walk in here, guys in the mirror checking themselves out. Got a chance at a shutout. You guys got a chance of freaking hanging a score around here we haven't hung in a long time. We don't work hard enough to go take what we want? Go take what you want. You want to get in the game? DJ, you run your ass off on all those routes all week? Now you got a chance to get in the game, maybe. If your brother and your brothers will put them away. It's about time people say, I don't want to schedule those guys anymore. I don't want to play those guys anymore. And if my standard's too high, then leave. And if you're with me, go out there and do not, I don't want to see a smile. I don't want to see nothing silly. I want to see a bunch of guys locked in that wants to make a team quit. I don't know why he showed you guys Bronx Hill at the end of it. You know what he said to that guy after beat the out of that biker gang? He said, look at me. I did this to you. He wasn't scared to make sure that guy knew who he was. I did this to you. When you're shaking their hand at the end of the game, they better have that look in their eye. You did it to them. It's supposed to be 33-0. It's supposed to be that score. Now, what's the second half supposed to look like? I'll see you guys on the field.
I love it. Did you see the play? I mean, they're locked in. This is 33-0 against Akron. This is when your attention can slip. Everybody's locked in. They closed out the shutout. He's not wrong. Shutouts are hard to do. I don't care who you're playing. This is what Nebraska has needed. And we talked about this when they beat Cincinnati. And I realize they have not played the toughest competition yet, but I don't care because look at the way they are trying to beat people. Listen to what he's saying. Make them quit. That's what Nick Saban used to say. Make his ass quit. And winning the games you're supposed to win, playing the way you're supposed to play week to week is the hardest thing to get a team to do. It is the hardest thing about a program build. If Matt Rhule has that part right, and so far it looks like he does, you should be very excited about what is coming for Nebraska. Very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think that hunger is probably the root of all success, right, when it comes to playing college football. And, I think that keeping a high standard against a team that's not equipped to compete with you is an important step in the right direction because it trains you on how to play when you're playing teams who could beat you. Nebraska, I think, is a very interesting team. And, I've been paying attention to them a little bit closer than maybe I otherwise would because Nebraska fans hate me at the moment. And I'm really excited to see
God, they hate me because of you. Like I quote tweeted this, Will Compton's tweet. I quote tweeted and I said, Kirby Smart leaked speeches don't have bleeps in them. And they think that was an anti-Nebraska comment. I was just making fun of the fact that it was pretty clearly strategically leaked, which, by the way, the Kirby Smart when we play all the time from halftime of the Florida game in 2021, also very strategically leaked for recruiting purposes. Like, yeah, you want people to see that. You want prospective players to see what Matt Rhule is like day to day, what he's like at halftime, what kind of program he's running. That's what you're going to get from him for real. Like, that's not the recruiting pitch. That is him for real when he is your coach. And you saw the result. And this has been the problem at Nebraska under previous administrations, where they just could not get out of their own way. They could not win all the games they were supposed to win. Forget the ones that they aren't supposed to win. They couldn't win the ones they were supposed to win. Now he's got them where they can win the ones they're supposed to win and win them in dominant fashion. And when he talks about people not wanting to play you, like Nebraska, when I was a teenager, like we kept the Nebraska weight room, like what their average offensive line bench press and squat was, and their average D-line offensive squat and bench press were. Like, we kept them on a sign over our weight room because Nebraska was the standard, period. They kicked everyone's ass. And everybody who played them knew they were going to get their ass kicked. And that's what Matt Rhule's trying to bring back. And you have to, you can't do that to Michigan before you do that to Akron.
You know, I'm looking at their schedule right now, because a lot of times too, when you see 68-0, it's like, okay, well, you know, whatever, who cares? Like, it's like, I almost sometimes feel like the bigger the score gets, the less credible the win is, because it's just, you know, it's the team you're playing is so overmatched that, like, you can't draw anything from it. But I'm looking back and I'm already at like 2018. And I'm trying to find the last time Nebraska won a game like this.
You seeing what I'm saying here? Exactly.
There's not. 2016, they beat Wyoming 52-17, but there isn't a lot of like 68-0. There's none of it. And they had, you know, 48-9 in 2015 against South Alabama. McNeese State 31-24 in 2014. It's been over a decade.
I mean, I embedded with the Troy team that went up there and beat them.
The last time
Frost's first year.
The last time they hung a score like this that I can see, and it wasn't a shutout, was against Idaho State in 2012 when they won 73-7. So that's a 13-year period, and they've played some overmatched teams in the last 13 years, and it didn't happen that way. So, you know, when you're talking about Georgia or Alabama, like what Alabama did to Louisiana Tech. Wait, no, that wasn't Louisiana Tech. Who did they play? Doesn't matter what they did to whoever they played. Louisiana Monroe. Sorry, Louisiana Tech was LSU, right?
Yes. And that was much closer than the home team wanted. Yeah.
It doesn't really register, because you see that from those teams all the time. Like, I didn't really think twice about this until you brought this up, but I think that is a nice step in the right direction. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are holding on to me. Like, when we instantly reacted to Nebraska's season opening win against Cincinnati, I made a comment on this show about how, you know, Dylan Raiola may not be the sensational player that we thought he could be coming out, you know, and they're holding on to that pretty hard.
Ari, we got to talk about Roback. I am wearing my Hezzy hoodie right now. You can get Nebraska hoodies. You can get Michigan hoodies. Roback has everything. Now, I don't know that the Florida folks are wearing them as prominently this week, but this is the Florida Hezzy hoodie that they sent me. It is spectacular. This is the most comfortable garment in the world. And there's the Nebraska one right there. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, yeah. RHOBACK.com, Roback.com, hoodies, polos, quarter zips, shorts, joggers, you name it. Use the code Andy for 20% off your first order. Roback.com, RHOBACK. Use the code Andy for 20% off your first order. Look at that. Look at that.
We got to get River that Tennessee one, the black one with the power tees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got to get River. Does River have that?
Not yet, but his birthday's coming up.
When's his birthday?
Same as your daughter's and mine.
That's right. I forgot about that. Okay. Well, I'll maybe I'll get it for him for his birthday. We'll see. All
right. So I am, I don't know. Can we show the Nebraska one again? That one's awesome too. Look at that. That's perfect right there.
Yeah, it's
So
the material is so soft that you can't even try to explain it. You just have to touch it.
that's outstanding. And so if you want to watch your Matt Rhule halftime speeches and rep the Cornhuskers, that is the way to do it right there. Roback.com, code Andy, 20% off your first order.
So, and I don't know if you have changed your mind about that. I don't know that I have.
I don't know that it matters. I think he has the capacity to be a good college quarterback, which that's what you need.
I think when people have it in their heads that you don't like them, they like grasp at every single thing that you say and try to make it worse. Like I have some sort of axe to grind against Nebraska. Like
here's the thing: we're not going to come out and be like, you guys are going to win the national title this year, because we don't think that's true, and I don't think you do either.
We don't do that. So, we try. Like if you listen to the show, I hope the thing that you can appreciate about us is that we're not always going to be right. We're certainly not always going to be wrong, because we're right about a lot of things. But we're just doing the best that we can to give you real analysis of what we see. And whether or not you agree with that, that's fine. But I'm looking at Nebraska's schedule right now, and there isn't a single team that I don't think they can beat until they go on the road to November 22nd. And that's at Penn State, Houston Christian, Michigan, Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, even USC. That's looked really good. UCLA. If you're actually like, instead of like yelling at us, you know what? Yell at us. It's fine. I'd rather you yell at us than ignore us. But like the thought process here of like, Andy, if you're about it and Rayola's a god and you guys are, go freaking do it now. Like this is a time to do it.
But back to my point of they can now win the games they're supposed to win. Let's look at the schedule again. Which of these games would you say they are supposed to win? I'm not even going to say Michigan, but I think they can beat Michigan. In fact, we'll see how the picks go next week, but I'm very much leaning toward picking Nebraska to beat Michigan. Michigan State, they should beat. Maryland, they should beat. Minnesota's going to be tough, but I think they should beat them. Now, that's on the road. They should beat Northwestern. Don't know about USC yet. USC looks awfully good this season. They should beat UCLA. I think they should beat Iowa based on what we've seen from Iowa so far this season. So what does that make your record? I think I just cooked up a 9-3 season, and there are games in there that you could still win because they're kind of toss-ups.
Like you might have cooked up a playoff scenario if they win one of the toss-ups.
Correct. And that is what you want. That is what you hoped for when you hired Matt Rhule. And what I am saying is what you saw in that speech is Matt Rhule giving you exactly what you hired him for, exactly what you want. And that is you want to raise the floor first, and then you raise the ceiling. And he has raised the floor for Nebraska. And that is how you raise the floor. You create a standard and you stick to it. It's the same stuff we were talking about with Alabama last week. Now, granted, that loss to Florida State is maybe it's an anomaly. We don't know. But the difference between the Nick Saban teams and the Kalen DeBoer teams is that the Nick Saban teams didn't lose games they weren't supposed to lose. They played to a standard, and it was them against them. It was not them against the opponent. What you saw in that locker room from Matt Rhule and from the Cornhuskers was them against them. Was Matt Rhule saying, starters, kick their ass enough that I can put the backups in. Backups, you're working your asses off at practice. You want an opportunity? Now's your opportunity. Go take advantage of it. Don't screw up the shutout for us. Like, that's how you do that. That's how you do it.
Yeah. And for all of you who still have it in your head that, like, we are anti-Nebraska, go watch videos from last year when Rayola committed. Go read columns, even back at The Athletic. I was like, basically had a corn husk tattooed on my chest when he flipped from Georgia. I wrote an entire column about how amazing it is for like your contrived viewpoint. Like, I think if Nebraska made the playoff, it would be freaking awesome. It would be awesome. And
now,
speaking of
Georgia,
guy. I love that guy.
Here's why you don't bleep the leaked audio, because the original leaked Kirby Smart audio, not bleeped. We bleeped it because we didn't want the E on the show. Here's the bleeped version.
Trust your preparation. Yo is prepared for this for 365 days. I think about that locker room. Think about getting our opportunity. All you went through this week to get ready for this game. Now is when you pay the price. You go out there with energy, enthusiasm. Hey, guys, ain't nobody in this room should be cautious. Ain't nobody in this room should be nervous about Go out here. Don't think about scoreboard. Don't think about you think about knocking. Did you hear what Box said on Monday? When I sat I wanted to right then. Tore out here. 2 years pride and joy. Tells me guys up. You go play the right way. You play the right way. You knock. You stay out the. You tackle the ball. It's easy. Look at the right. Punish on offense and kick special teams, guys. It's about who we are. I believe in you. Let's go.
Can't even hear what he's saying.
I think that was a pregame speech. There's a halftime speech from Florida Georgia in 21, and this is equally profane. Like one, he strings so many cuss words together that the beeps just keep going. But yeah, that's why you don't bleep your leaked video. Just put it out there. But that said,
the one thing I want you to bring up to me, Andy, or help me with. He said something at the end of the video, and I've watched it 3 times now, and I can't pick up on it. There's something about like hurting somebody and then saying you're the person.
Matt Rhule. He's talking about a scene from A Bronx Tale.
Okay, A Bronx Tale. That's right. Okay, yeah, the biker gang. Okay, it's coming now. Okay, got it. Who did it?
Hey, Matt Rhule's a cinephile. Like he's watched some good movies, and I think he's got some good examples.
Yeah,
as far as that goes.
They don't make good movies anymore.
This is another topic for another day. But yes, Nebraska fans, be very excited. Houston Christian coming to town this week. You're probably going to need an equally rousing halftime speech because Nebraska should be mowing them down if you're playing to the standard. And then, of course, Michigan next week, and then it gets really fun. So let's see what happens.